to another episode of Rectec Reels. I'm Henna McQuarna, Commercial Success Manager here at Rectec. And joining me today is Neil from TargetRecruit, and we're going to be talking about all things tech stack related. So Neil, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Henna. So I'm Neil Curry. I look after the sales for TargetRecruit in the UK and EMEA. At TargetRecruit, we are a CRM solution built on Salesforce. So looking forward to having the conversation with you today, Henna.
Amazing. Thanks so much. So, Neil, I think it's safe to say you are very much an expert when it comes to talking about tech stacks. So when you're sort of having these conversations with businesses, what are you finding that usually sort of stops people from ensuring their tech stack is working for them?
Yeah, I mean, it could be, I guess, a whole raft of reasons, but some of the most common ones are a lack of adoption from users. So users have typically lost faith in what they're using, or they've been forced to use workarounds because the existing system doesn't tick all of the boxes. So naturally, coming into the usual culprit like an Excel spreadsheet, CRM doesn't get updated, data's out of date. Everyone starts having those little moans and whines about in our case, the CRM, and it goes around like wildfire, and it starts to become a bit of a joke. It's just not a great place for a company to be, especially when they're using or they've invested in a solution to help them run the business. So that's one. So the lack of adoption, the lack of faith in the solution, and the other one which we see very often and more so now is just lack of integration with the CRM into other third-party technology which wraps around it. So that could be, lack of integration into LinkedIn or into the telephony system or back end for pay and bill. Most businesses will still get by, but it tends to be a manual process. You've got the CSV bolt-ons, import, export. It wastes people's time. It increases the risk around people's data, and it's not really a situation that businesses need to be in. We've literally just come off a call with a client there who, when they're looking for candidates, they search for them on their CRM, but they would like to, but they actually can't do it. So they're doing a manual scrape through different CVs, which I think would be a good fit. And it's, again, they're coming out of the software to run those processes, and it just leads to a whole load of headaches for organizations who are wanting to be quick and efficient.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the key part there, right? You build this tech stack traditionally to become more efficient, and then people start, for whatever reason, finding weird loopholes in what they're doing and how they're doing it. And then actually people start using it differently within the business as well. And it ends up just being more of a hindrance than anything. And actually building a tech stack isn't cheap, is it? So
it's not.
Right.
No, it's a big investment. It's an investment in money and also in time. Yeah. It's not to say that the technology that some businesses are using are wrong. It could have just been implemented and used wrong in the first case, and it's it from there it just gains momentum and the bad practices come in. So it's not to say that CRM is always broken, but more often than not, if people are using workarounds, there's some fundamental issue at the heart of the problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, so with that in mind, you're obviously speaking to businesses about this pretty much daily, probably even more than that.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say that businesses are doing to actually get this right?
I think it's the businesses who are sitting back and acknowledging that they've got a problem, which is it is usually the start of that process to try and fix it. There's the ones who are doing it right. I guess we see usually two camps. Those people who are wanting to fix something before a big event occurs. So we work with a lot of organizations who are branching out into the US. One of our clients have a UK business. They then are opening up into the US. They know that the foundation of their business, their CRM, was not fit for purpose. So rather than branching into the US and then taking all of those problems with them and then having to unpick them, they look to fix that problem now. And then they're using our technology to support them, not just in the US, but in the UK as well. So there's that. There's also those organizations who aren't afraid to say, look, we've one springs to mind who grew so quickly through acquisition, and they've acquired a lot of different businesses, and they've got a lot of siloed technology, and in that case 3 different CRMs with different databases. They put their hands up and said, look, we've we've grown so quickly. The CRM probably wasn't a priority. It was growing the business, which, that's
Yeah.
in our case, we're not going to, correct that. But actually, when people identify they have got a problem and they're willing to go through that change, and I'll say it for what it is, usually that pain of having to unpick the problems that they've got. I
Yeah.
think that's a big thing that businesses need to go through. They need to identify it themselves and then be open-minded to fixing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that can often be the hardest thing, actually admitting that there's an issue and not just saying, oh, well, they're all rubbish or all of this. Like, there can be a lot of negativity around changing whatever system it is, whether it's a CRM or HS or whatever it might be. There's a lot of sort of negativity around having to go through that process. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. Once you get the ball rolling, you get it done. The time and efficiency that you're going to be able to get off the back of making that change is second to none. You're going to wish you did it so much sooner. It's just getting there.
Yeah, I agree.
So my final question here is, what advice would you give to somebody who's looking to go through that process and enhance their tech stack?
Yeah. I think you need to think about identify where your problems are right now, but also think about where you're going to be more in the mid and the longer term. Don't just try and fix the immediate problem that you've got with a quick off-the-shelf solution. Quite often those choices can fix the immediate problem that you've got, but then very quickly you find yourself in the same situation that you were before you fixed the problem. So think about more mid and longer term and take your time. I'm not saying take forever, but take your time in choosing the right partner for you. If you know you're going to be going through change, for example, and you need to fix immediate problems that you've got, find a solution which is going to be able to support you now, but also in the future. Now, that could be from the technology that they have to offer, it could be the ecosystem that they have sitting around their main platform. It could just be finding a supplier or partner who's going to hold your hand through that whole journey. So you have to think about not just the short term, but also that mid and long term, so that you don't keep finding yourself in that whole cycle of having to correct costly mistakes over and over again.
Yeah, really, really good advice there. And I think you actually just made a really key point at the beginning of that sort of answer, is looking for a partner as opposed to a supplier. I know some people are probably watching this thinking, isn't that the same thing? But having a partner is someone who's going to help you and coach you through that process and make sure that the tech that you're implementing through them is going to be working well with the other things that you're using and for your business as well. So yeah, really,
Yeah,
really
absolutely. Yeah. And have open conversations, or try and have open conversations with the different suppliers that you're speaking to, understand what their approach is to the partnership, and make sure that it's not just a buzzword that they are using.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that in our field at CRM, we have, like you say, have conversations daily with businesses who are looking to change their CRM and transform them and making them more efficient. So implementing a CRM is not something that our customers do all the time, but implementing CRM is something that we do all the time. So speak with the suppliers that you're engaging with and just have open conversations about, where your challenges are, what you want to achieve now and in the future. And then, hopefully you'll find somebody who's going to be open and honest with you about what they can and can't do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I couldn't have said it better myself. So thanks so much, Neil. And
Pleasure.
if you are looking to build out your tech stack, or you're in the market for a new ATS or CRM, do take advantage of our unique fee-free comparison tool, Rectec Compare. Or if you're actually looking to build out your tech stack with complementary tech, then be sure to check out our marketplace at rectec.io. But thanks so much for joining me today, Neil. It's been great to speak to you about tech stacks. And yeah, have a great day.
Thanks, Henna.